Welcome, welcome. It's Neptune Moon Reading time. Today I'm going to take a look at Atlas, so the incoming interstellar object, 3I Atlas, and take a little deeper dive into that one there. I'm just going to run through some of the latest findings with that. Now, to do that, I just have to change screens. Okay, so latest discoveries about 3I Atlas, tail expansion and increased activity. On August 27, astronomers using the Gemini South Telescope in Chile captured stunning images of the 3I Atlas growing tail and glowing coma, a sign that the comet is heating up as it approaches the Sun. A rare interstellar origin. This is the third confirmed interstellar object, so that's why it's called 3I, ever observed in our solar system. So it's a big deal. It followed Oumuamua in 2017 and Borisov in 2019. Now, interesting because that's just before the coronavirus. Its hyperbolic trajectory confirms it's just passing through from another star system. Interesting. So I find it interesting for many, many reasons. Back in the old days, they used to worry about comets coming in, and they used to say some of those plagues that came in were preceded by a comet coming in, and they show that on some of the paintings. So I'm not actually sure where. I just remember from researching many, many years ago, I started deep diving rabbit holes in 2011, and one of the things that always stood out to me was comets predating pandemics. So I always found that interesting. So then to see one that came in 2019 prior to the COVID, it's always deep down been a bit of a worry as to what is in that coma, like that could be affecting humans. Perhaps it could be seen as a pandemic. So I just find that interesting. It's one of my questions that I have deep down. Lots of strange things happening with this. It's like they say speeding up. It's getting brighter. Some are saying that it has lighting, like not natural lighting, that lights its own way. Some are even saying that it's got straight lines on it. Other people say that, well, crystals have straight lines as well. But it's very interesting the makeup of this comet that they're saying. So also we've got factual. We've got the James Webb Telescope detected the CO dominated coma with CO and H2O. So it's the highest ever recorded. So the ratio of carbon dioxide to water ratio is about 8-1. So it's the highest ever recorded. So the makeup of this comet is different to anything we've seen before, apart from it also being an interstellar object, which is also very rare and unusual. Now, SpearX has also found an abundance of carbon dioxide and ice water, offering clues about the building blocks of other planetary systems. So that's interesting. Now, I read too somewhere that there was cyanide also in this, and the makeup of this being, I think do they say it's mercury and iron, but it has no iron. Now, I'm not sure what that other mineral was, but it's normally they're hand in hand in comets, but this one is lacking iron, which is interesting for the makeup of this comet. Public engagement. Okay, so why it matters. 3I Atlas is a messenger from beyond, whether it's man-made or, I don't say man-made, whether it's a natural formation, a rock, a comet, an asteroid, or whether it's some kind of visitor from another galaxy. It is a messenger from beyond because it brings with it messages in that what it's made up of. It shows the chemical compositions from other planetary systems, perhaps. So carrying pristine material from another solar system. So yeah, I worry about what else is in there and how humans adapt to that incoming energy or chemical makeup. Okay, really, I just want to go deep here with the Neptune Moon. I was a bit exhausted when I read it last time. It had some very strange outcomes too last time, showing that it did come from another place. I think the Anunnaki card also came up. I wonder also if anybody's ever looked at the planet of the crossing and how it's due to come through. Could it be what's traveling in that same orbit as the planet of the crossing? Is it what else is traveling with it is coming in first? Who knows? Is it a mothership? This is what some people are saying. I just find it really interesting. So I want to deep dive and take a look. First question, I'm going to just let the cards speak and talk about it. And then I'm going to ask some questions, question and answer style with the cards. So let's see how we go. I'm just going to read this part first because I have a million questions going through my mind just looking at these cards. So I just want to also comment too, based on what I'm seeing on this reading here, this projection, the projected path of this interstellar object is heading towards Mars. So one of my questions is it intentional? Is it intentionally for a reason heading towards Mars? That question has come up in my mind after I saw the Mars card. I thought, oh, that's right, it's heading towards Mars, not Earth, towards Mars. So and then Mars comes up. There's just so much here, and I want to get through this part first before I start asking questions. Now, first of all, we've got a guardian shield, protected or guarded. So it is whatever it is protected or guarded by a coma or whatever that makeup is around it. So you can see the object itself is inside of the coma. Something about that coma too being really large. Let me try and find some facts on that. Yes. So the guardian shield is talking about the coma. Now, there is something very unusual about the 3i Atlas coma that scientists are buzzing about. So this is interesting that it's come up in the spread. It's the massive size of it. The coma extends out at least 348,000 kilometers. That is 216,000 miles. That's nearly the distance from Earth to the moon. Extraordinarily large for a comet, especially one from another star system. Still interstellar. Interesting. So, yeah, first card up is saying the shield. We're talking about the coma. It is unusual. It has the scientists buzzing about it because it is so large. So not only is this interstellar object very bright, it's very fast, it has a very large coma around it. So really interesting. Early activity, the 3i Atlas began outgassing long before expected, even while it was still beyond Jupiter's orbit, around 6 AU from the Sun. Most comets don't wake up until they're closer, suggesting this one has a highly volatile composition. So the extreme CO2 ratio, the James Webb Space Telescope found a CO2 to H2O ratio of 8:1, as we already talked about. This is the highest ever recorded in a comet. That's 6 standard deviations above normal. So making this coma chemically bizarre and possibly indicative of formation in a radically different environment. How fascinating is this? And it's coming up straight away in the first one. That's even without getting into this reading. So normally, as you know, when I read the Neptune, I put my hand over and see what they're trying to say, but I want to bring a bit of facts in as well as we're going. We've got the navigational spirit. One of my questions, sitting above Mars. So one of my questions I do have now that I've seen that is it intentionally navigating towards Mars for a reason? It's in the inner solar system. So it's coming in the inner solar system. So Mars is an inner planet. Yeah, I love this spread. It's so easy to read. It's navigating towards the inner solar system. It says the planet of the crossing. We talked about the planet of the crossing. Maybe it has a connection to that orbit of the planet of the crossing. They call that Nibiru. Most of you are probably already aware of that on this channel. Cyclic return. When we talk about the planet of the crossing, it has, I believe it's 3,600 years that it returns. It has a cyclic return. planet of the crossing, cyclic return. Interesting. Heading towards the inner solar system, towards Mars. Still a gateway. It's an interstellar object. Now, when I pulled this spread, I said, tell me about this comet. Tell me about, well, I didn't say comet. I said, tell me about this interstellar object. What can you tell me? All of this stuff is so amazing that, yeah, just it's so easy to read it. It's just in your face about what it is. It's a interstellar object traveling to the inner solar system, navigating towards Mars. It has this unusual coma around it, and it also has a really unusual makeup to it as well. The geometry, the sacred geometry, is the makeup of it. So the other said there's seeds of creation, seeds of creation. So that's really fascinating about this as well, because it's showing the seeds of creation from beyond our solar system and what that makeup is. They're learning. The scientists are learning. This is kind of sciencey, spiritually, I would say, or woo-woo. We're talking more about the creators. We're talking more about the planet of the crossing, the cyclic return, Mars. There is a connection there with Mars when it comes to the planet of the crossing. If you've ever looked into that, I believe. Let's see, Marduk had two sons. Now I may be crossing two different philosophies here. It's Babylonian text. Without, I should really look it up, but I think there was like warring brothers. One ruled Earth, one ruled Mars. So they maybe went to Mars before they went to Earth, or they ruled and populated both Mars and Earth. There's a connection there. There's a connection to the creators, to the planet of the crossing, the cyclic return, a connection to Mars and Earth. So if you look into those texts, those old texts about that, and that's the Enuma Elish. I believe it's the Babylonian scriptures or texts. But interstellar gateways, interesting, and that's the wondrous path. And you can see here, this is all UFOs in the background, spacecraft in the background. So how bizarre and interesting is this? I just love a good Neptune Moon deep dive into the weird stuff. So, and love to be able to talk about it on this channel. So we've got these weird objects coming in. Look, 1, 2, and 3, and they're getting bigger as they come in. You can see the first one, 2017, second one, 2019, third one, there's a little gap there, and it's even bigger, and it is 2025. They're all UFOs. I know, and Amua, I believe, is the one that that James Webb captured it changing course. So it had a really strange orbit, and it came in, and they said it changed course. So they were questioning whether it was with that one was a comet or a asteroid, or whether it was something that was capable of course correction. So that is very interesting. And then this one here is bigger, and this is the 2025 Atlas interstellar object. Yeah, I'm blown away. I'm blown away about how clear these are. And it's the path. This is the path of its progress. So they really want to talk about why it's taking this path navigating towards the inner solar system, towards Mars. This is the path that it's on. So path of progress, wanderer's path. We went through that bit there. They want to talk about the path being very significant. Shift in perspective is the other thing. It's a little bit different than what we're thinking, but shift of perspective too, I think also could be how we talked about Amua shifting course, or course correction, changing course, because after all, we're talking about its path, the path that it's on. Could this one change course? Could this one shift its path or its progress as it approaches the inner solar system? Interesting. So let's, the other two here is the energy, invisible force around it. So we talked about the coma already, and what that coma was made up of, and why it's so unique and unusual. The other thing is the keeper of destiny, the Akashic records, has fallen out. So let's talk a little bit more now about its projected path, why it is heading towards the solar system, the inner solar system, specifically towards Mars. So let's go a little bit deeper with that now, that question. I'm going to bring in a little bit of facts into this reading as well as reading it as the normal Neptune moon style reading. So there's some unusual things about the brightness of this 3i Atlas object. Unexpected early brightening, as we talked about before. So usually the closer they get to the sun, the brighter they get. But here it's saying observations from July 2025 showed that Atlas began glowing more intensely far earlier than expected. Normally it's when they're closer to the sun. So it shows a volatile makeup or something that we haven't seen before. It's different, even while it's still distant from the sun. So this suggests it contains highly volatile materials that sublimate easily, like formed in colder, more extreme regions of the solar star system, of the original star system. That's interesting. Let me read that back to you again. So it suggests materials that sublimate easily, likely formed in a colder, more extreme region of its original star system, so where its origins, where it's come from. So the massive coma amplifying light. So its coma spans over 3,000 and 48,000 kilometers. That's nearly the distance of Earth to the moon distance. This vast cloud of gas and dust reflects sunlight and contributes to its brightness, making it unusually luminous for an object of its size and distance. So that's a little bit unusual about this one as well. So there's no clear rotation signature of this comet, or this object, I should say. Despite multiple photometric observations, astronomers haven't detected consistent brightness fluctuations that would indicate rotation. So when something's rotating, you're going to see it reflecting differently, showing different light intensities. So it hasn't actually detected any of that. So it's saying that it's maybe not rotating. So that is odd. It suggests either a very slow spin, or that the coma is masking the nucleus light curve. So maybe the coma's dense or not quite see-through enough to be able to clearly pick up on the light changing as something's rotating. So there's no clear rotation signature there, which is really interesting. Maybe it's not rotating at all. So that is a possibility as well. So indicating it could be like a craft of some sort. So keeping it nice and woo-woo on this channel, sparking a bit of interest in the conspiracy. So to what else is coming up here. So that was a guided light and a bit of factual information about why the brightening of this one is so different. Okay, pillar of support. So pillar of support, why is it? And quest for knowledge. So this could be possibly our quest for knowledge. I think I might validate those ones a little bit more as we continue on, simultaneously unfolding at the same time, but in the present timeline. So this is what's going on right now. So there's a quiet pause as it evolves. So as it gets closer to the sun, there may be a quiet pause. Maybe it might slow down, change its trajectory. Something about it changes. Not as bright, which doesn't seem right because it brightens the closer it gets to the sun. But it's showing that there's a quiet pause coming the closer it gets to the sun. So maybe right now in its present placement, it's in a quiet pause, but it will evolve. Maybe it gets brighter, which makes sense, but maybe it gets other changes still to come around it. Okay, let's validate this top one because I want to be clearer about what they're trying to say. Now, the question was, why is it heading towards Mars? What's the purpose of it heading towards Mars? Returning. Oh, I just love a conspiracy. This is the high guide here. Over here, it says it's going home, returning to roots. So as I talked about in a little bit of the conspiracy, Planet of the Crossing, how there was Marduk, I think it was, one of the rulers anyway of another civilization. If you look back into that old text or go down that rabbit hole, they lived on Mars. They had a civilization or a colony on Mars. And why are they heading towards Mars? Because they're going home. They're returning to their roots. I just love it. I love a good conspiracy, and I love how the Neptune always takes us there. So I think I might leave it. Actually, might just do one more spread to reveal something hidden. So let's do that. Let's reveal something hidden about this atlas. So the questions that were in that shuffle was what's being hidden from us, what maybe the scientists know but are not revealing to us, what the overall message is from the atlas, what it wants to say, and what is it that is hidden, or what information could be revealed about atlas that we don't know. Okay, so for the first group that came out was the Jupiter group, and it is heading towards Jupiter, so it's on a projection towards Mars. Based on the projections, it's supposed to get close to Mars, but then you see it kind of on the projections start towards Jupiter. So as far as what's being hidden, it's cycle or rhythm towards Jupiter. Something about that is being hidden, intentionally obscured. They're not. Maybe they're more worried about the collision course with Jupiter. Maybe there's something going on with um, this is what's being hidden, because we've got two hidden cards, covert and hidden, side by side here. So it says reveal the hidden covert, distortion veil, and potentially obscured. And my question was, what is being hidden from us? So what is it that maybe the scientists know and are not revealing to us? Well, it's something around its projected path towards Jupiter. Something around that is being intentionally veiled from us. Something about its rhythm or its cycles, or something. We've got rhythm cycles. So the cycle around Jupiter is being, for some reason, intentionally not mentioned to us. Up here it's saying renewal, or the other thing that is not being revealed, because that was my question, was its beginnings, where it came from. They're not what they're finding. I'm just drawn to the word finding. So the information that they find, or as it gets closer and they can get more pictures, or there's more information they can read, the makeup of it, it's cosmic origins. So we've got cosmic origins here, and what they find out about it, those things will be hidden from us, will not be revealed. So maybe they're finding out a little bit more. They've been very good. I can find that information pretty easily about what they're saying that the chemical makeup is, but I feel as it gets closer and it gets photographed, and they get more information about it, about where it comes from, its cosmic origins. It says new beginnings, where it emerged from. I think those kind of things are going to get hidden from us for some reason. But they're going to be finding out more information. It says polar duality. It's probably very different to what they're thinking. And it is. It's, so far, what they're releasing is different from the makeup of comets within our solar system. So here it's saying that it's going to be very different. They're finding out information that of it's where it's merged from cosmically, and the upgrades, how upgraded information they're finding out, but that may be not shared with us. Something about that. Again, veil of illusion, discerning. Again, it's veiled. Certain information is veiled. Now, I asked for a message from the comet or the object. What are you here for? What's your message? And I got the windows to the soul. What is the purpose and the truth? So that was, and then I thought, oh, that's probably a better way to ask it. What is your purpose? When I saw that, I thought I rephrased that question. So it's about an awakening or a remembrance, an elevation or an ascension, ready to level up. Veil of illusion, here it's veiled, the true intention is veiled, but the radiant sun is all about life force, so it could be connected to it's not a sun dipper comet, so it's not heading into the sun or anything. A sun diver, I think they're called. But radiant sun is connected here. So I'm going to keep this bit really light as far as the message goes from the comet or from the object. It says that its purpose and truth is about opening your eyes to take a look at what's going on around you, look at what's out there in the world, objects coming in from interstellar. So you need to wake up and open your eyes. Pay attention is what it's saying. Be ready to level up as the tension, or it's not tension, it's elevation, ascension as it draws nearer, as it gets closer. So there will be more radiant sun activity is what it could be saying here, is that it could affect the sun's geomagnetic energy. It could kind of have more heightened radiant energy with the sun. So that could affect Earth in a way to do with the flares, the solar flares, or the activity of the sun. So, but some things are going to be veiled from us, and that's the other thing that is really interesting there. As it hits our closest approach to the Earth, our viewing point where we can see it in the closest position, it's going to be on the opposite side of the sun from us. This is what this is. So it's going to be veiled. Our view will be veiled. This is exactly what it says here, because of the sun. So it's behind the sun in Sagittarius, in the area of Sagittarius. So our viewing point when it's closest to the Earth is going to be blocked by the sun. So it's going to be veiled by the sun. So that's really interesting. As it gets closer to its closest point, its ascension or elevation, closest point to us, it will be veiled by the sun. Open your eyes. So we won't be able to see it. We won't have a view. Eyes are closed. We're not going to have a view of it because it's close. It's on the other side of the sun. How interesting. Is that intentional? Because that's the purpose? Is it purposely doing that? Did its path of projection intentionally calculated so that it won't be seen because its closest approach, or when it was closest to being seen, will be blocked by the view of the sun? Very, very interesting. So I'm going to leave that reading there. Let me know if you have any questions about it, so I can do another reading on the atlas. Thanks for joining me.